I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 11th of November, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life living in Leon, Nicaragua, except today I'm not in Leon, Nicaragua. Well, okay, I am. Where are you saying this? That's very misleading. Okay, I'm in Leon, but today is a travel day, and we're going to be talking about my trip that is going on right as you're seeing this in more ways than one, right after the bump. Today is a outrageously hot and humid day here in Nicaragua. I did a video earlier today and it was cloudy and I was dying at that point, and then the instant I stopped it rained, and now the sun is out. It is both humid and a ton of direct sunlight. I am absolutely cooking as I make this video, but it is Saturday morning for y'all, and I am doing this for the 11th. I'm actually doing it a little bit early because at the time that you're watching this video, assuming everything is going to plan, I am on a bus on the day that the video is for, and you will be seeing it, of course, a week after that, but I will still be on the trip that is being recorded for. So in order to be able to handle this trip, which I'm going to tell you all about in a minute, I need to get videos made ahead of time, or I'm not going to have enough time to get them recorded and up to you while I'm on the trip. So I'm working very hard to have material ready to go so that you have stuff to watch while I'm on the trip. There's going to be, I hope, a lot of amazing content coming from this trip. I will be taking just the GoPro 11 with me. I'm not going to take the 12 because it's my newest camera and I don't need it for this particular trip, and I'm not going to take the 9 because it's got its problems. So I will be traveling with the 11 and my laptop. Hopefully that gives me enough that I'm able to keep the show going while I'm gone. I'm not going to be gone for an outrageous amount of time. It's definitely going to cause the hardest time period for keeping up on the show that I've had thus far. The trip to Guatemala a year and a half ago was the last time that it was really hard. This one is going to be so much harder because I am alone, and we just have so much more going on with the show, and the trip is a little bit longer. So what is the trip? What is going on? Let me fill you in. So, happening in real time as best as I can. Today is the 11th, and today what I should be doing, because remember, I'm recording this ahead of time so that you actually have this. I'm getting up early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to be at the bus station here in Leon at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it will not be bright and sunny like this. It will be dark. I will get picked up by the Nica Expresso, and that bus will take me all the way to San Jose Airport in southern Costa Rica. So that is a very long day. It's more or less 12 hours on the bus. So if all goes to plan, I will get on the bus at about 6:30, leave Leon. Hopefully it is air conditioned. Last time it was not on the southbound direction. When we came northbound, it was. As long as the air conditioning works, the trip is pretty comfortable. When it doesn't work, it's not. It is a very long trip. It goes through Managua, works its way down to the border. At the border, you get off. You spend a couple hours as everyone goes through border control. That's really boring, but for the most part, not a big deal. I'm not taking very much with me. I'm going with just a single large carry-on. That is it. This is a traveling light kind of trip, and the first time that I'm really putting the Mac laptop, the MacBook Air, to the test of doing a full on-the-go editing and uploading and all that process. So fingers crossed that everything goes well there. I'm traveling very minimally because I'm heading to ultimately Bolivia. But today I'm only heading down to San Jose Airport. I'm hoping to get a room at the Hilton directly, like across the street, very, very close. I'm going to be staying there. I want everything to be as simple as possible. I don't want to take on any additional problems or risks from being far away or any additional logistics. I'm not going to go into the city and do anything interesting. So sorry that I'm not going to be generating any cool Costa Rican content this particular time. I will do my best to actually record some of the day and the trip and what's going on with that. I don't want to skip that, but I'm not going to focus on Costa Rica at all. This is a logistics of getting to South America, and very importantly, this is my first time headed to South America. I've lived in Panama, very close to the South American border, but I've never actually been, which is kind of amazing. Paul has been to Colombia a number of years ago, but never farther south. I will be flying tomorrow on the 12th in the afternoon, after I have a full morning of being able to edit and upload and hopefully being able to get 1 or even 2 videos out for you guys. At that point, there's a possibility that I'm going to be already keeping up a little bit. I will be flying in the afternoon, to Peru. Now, that's very far, right? If you look at Lima, Peru, obviously. So I'm flying from San Jose, Costa Rica to Lima, Peru. That's going to get me there in the middle of the night. I will have a very short layover in Lima and immediately flying directly on to Santa Cruz de las Sierras in Bolivia, in eastern Bolivia. That's in the lower altitudes, closer to the Amazon. I'm not going to like see the Amazon or anything like that, but I will get to see that city briefly. I should be meeting with one of our employees who lives there in Santa Cruz. I don't know what the logistics of that is going to be, but that will be Monday, so that will be in 2 days. Tomorrow I will be doing the Peru piece, and then Monday I will be doing the final piece into Bolivia. Once I'm in Bolivia, I'm just spending a very minimal time in Santa Cruz de las Sierras, and then I will be catching a flight up to Cochabamba, which is at 8,000 feet, and that is where I'm going to be staying for nearly a week to do my altitude acclimation, because at 8,000 feet, that is about the maximum you're supposed to go to in any starter jump for an altitude change. And I'm coming from sea level in Leon, so I've got no buffer in heading up to that altitude. Luckily, I'll have 1 day in San Jose, which is at some minimal altitude, but not enough to matter in any way. But that will, I guess, kind of help. But I'll be heading to Lima, which is, again, at sea level, so it doesn't make any real difference. And Santa Cruz is very low, so nothing is going to prepare me for Cochabamba. I could be sick. I'm expecting to be sick for several days, so that's going to be just a little bit tough as I do that. But I have to acclimate there for a while, because ultimately my destination is La Paz, Bolivia, which is the highest city in the world, at 12,000 feet for the main city and 14,000 feet for its highest barrio, and which I do hope to visit. Even locals who live in Cochabamba get sick going up to that extra 4,000 feet. It's going to be absolutely brutal, and I don't have a lot of time on this trip to acclimate, so I have to be able to do it very quickly. I'm just doing my best. I have as best of plans as I can muster for this particular trip, but I know it's going to be hard. I had to move to get the camera out of the direct sun. I'm in the sun, but the camera is not now. It was getting very hot. So I will be, if all goes to plan, arriving today at about 6 o'clock, more realistically closer to 8 o'clock. They will drop me right off at the airport. The Hilton is across the street. If I don't get to stay at the Hilton, I'll stay at another hotel right there at the airport. I should have a fairly relaxing night as long as nothing goes wrong with the bus, which I recognize there's a lot to go wrong when you're riding a bus, but they do have backup buses. These systems work decently well under most circumstances, and I have nearly 24 hours to figure something out if something were to go wrong. So my arrival today is supposed to be around 6 p.m. But as long as I get in before midnight, it's not a big deal. And my flight tomorrow is 4 p.m. So I have this really long time. I should be able to sleep and get lots of sleep. I should have time to edit a video and relax in the hotel room. I don't plan to go anywhere. I'll just order in dinner. That's all easy. And then I will get to the airport super early tomorrow because there's just nothing else to do. It'll get me like 4 hours while waiting for a flight. You certainly don't need that. But I do recommend 3 hours on an international flight. Don't wait for anything to go wrong. Show up super early, get there when the gates open, and just relax at the airport. That is a traveler mistake. Seasoned travelers often get to that, like, I don't want to be early, I don't want to waste all that time, but they spend so much time worrying, and sometimes they miss flights and just stupid things happen. It's not worth it. As someone who's missed an international flight, it was kind of my fault, but I did listen to people and they told me what to do, and I just did what they said. But I shouldn't have listened to people who aren't international travelers. As someone who's missed an international flight, it's not fun, and you have so many logistic problems when you do that. Don't do it. Just get there, relax, have a beer if that's what you want to do. I can't drink on this trip, though, I have to mention. Because of the altitude, I am never in Bolivia long enough that I can risk having alcohol of any sort. So I'm not going to even have a beer from the time I get to Costa Rica all the way through. I need to be super hydrated and super alcohol free. Like, that's not an option. Coffee, yes. Caffeine, no problem. Recommended, in fact, because it helps you with breathing. But I'm going to be in low oxygen this entire trip. So I need to be very careful and prepared for all of that the entire time. I'm going to be packing very light. Again, just one camera, one tiny laptop, as little as I can get away with. However, I'm going to be going from here where it's about 35 degrees most days, especially today. I am cooking. It is brutally hot. And I'm going to be heading to La Paz, where it's between 5 and 9 degrees Celsius the entire time that I'm expected to be there. That's between roughly 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It is not freezing cold, but it is quite cold. It is going to be dramatically cold for me. I'm going to feel very, very cold the entire time that I am there. So I don't know what I'm going to do for clothing. I will take jeans with me, but I have very limited luggage space. I'll take some shirts like this, but these are warm weather shirts. These are not for the hottest days here, but they are for hot weather. So that's going to be a little bit awkward. That is my trip. I will be returning for the 23rd. I need to be back in Nicaragua on the 23rd. So that is my schedule. It is a very tight trip. We've been working on this for a while. We've been talking about it, but a lot of things happened in our lives and we had to shorten the trip. at this particular point and shuffle a lot of things around in order to make this possible while fitting it in before Liesel's quinceañera, which I'm getting back for. That is on the 24th. And then we already know that we have to be in Mexico for quite a bit in March. We're going to a lot of cool places, including Mazatlan, should be going to Guadalajara, definitely going to Cancun, maybe going to Mexico City. I'm not going to get a ton of time in those locations, but definitely enough to make some videos. So you'll be looking forward to stuff from Mexico coming up in just a few months. But I know that's a few months. Like, it's a YouTube show. That's a long way away from now. But for me, Bolivia now, Mexico then, and I'm hoping, really hoping to do somewhere in Central America in between. I have been looking at some places in Honduras that look really interesting. I've got some ideas for content I want to do in the short term, so I'm hoping maybe in December. We are not going to be filming in Texas in December like we normally do. We're going to be doing another round of Christmas here in Nicaragua, which is cool. We did Christmas episodes 2 years ago. Last year we were in Texas for Christmas, and this year we're going to be in Nicaragua again. So if you're interested in what Christmas is like here, we're planning on putting on quite a bit of a family Christmas thing here, which is cool and different, and the kids loved it when we did it 2 years ago with small time family Christmas, and all our friends got it. We did like gingerbread houses here, and we didn't do a Christmas tree. This time we're going to do a Christmas tree. That is our plan, and so that should be cool. And then sometime early next year, I'm supposed to be going back to South America. I don't have the details on that. So much is up in the air about that, but I'm not giving up on the real South American trip. That is not the one I'm doing now. This is the necessary work Bolivia trip. So I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm going to do everything I can to film while I'm in Bolivia. I know I'm going to be sick part of the time that I'm there. Hopefully not all the time that I'm there. Altitude sickness, for those who aren't paying attention. And I will do my best. My two places that I will be spending time are Cochabamba and La Paz, which are two of the coolest places in Bolivia. La Paz being the famous capital. It's where everybody tries to film in Bolivia, and very cold. And Cochabamba, a little bit warmer, a little bit lower, is the food capital of the country. I'm hoping to get Airbnbs, show a little bit of what life is like in the city. And I have friends in all three cities that I'm going to be in. So I'm going to be hanging out with people I know while I'm there. And Alan and Anna from the show here are going to be traveling with me. Now, they're not leaving today. They are flying through Panama in a few days. So I'm going to be all the way to Cochabamba before they even leave Nicaragua. And they're never going to Costa Rica. They're just going from here to Panama. They might be bouncing through Bogota and then Santa Cruz. But I'm going from here by bus to San Jose. That's where I'll be today. Tomorrow, I'm heading to Peru. And on Monday, I'll be arriving in Bolivia. That is my current itinerary. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe if you like to help support the channel and help make travel like this and shows like this possible. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. It'd be very much appreciated. It comes directly to me and helps make all the cameras and the computers and things that I need to do this plausible. And of course, share on social media. Tell friends about the show. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, because cool Bolivia content, travel stuff is coming in the next few days. And I will see all of you tomorrow.